back here with Dr. Rodney Van Pelt. Hello, doctor. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Steve. Good morning, viewers. It's great to be here. I'm feeling good.
Nice. Okay, so let's talk about scientific studies. You see all these, well, experts, especially on YouTube, and they're always reading, and it seems like they're trying to kind of make their point with with studies that they read, and it kind of feels to me like there's an agenda with some of these experts to prove their opinion. So let's talk about some keys to evaluating a scientific study to say, okay, I I can take this and apply it to my life and take it at least as maximum or a maximum truth or the most truth possible. So give us some keys to evaluating a study.
All right, thank you. And this is really important because we get persuaded by them, right? I mean, we're supposed to be. That's kind of their purpose, is to help guide us in making decisions about our health and life. And um, and it's kind of a minefield, as you alluded already. There's purported experts on YouTube and other outlets for information. When it comes to the news media, often we don't even have experts. We just have um, a news reporter. We just have a news
Talking
reporter.
head.
Yeah, reporting on the news about a study. And so let's and are we really getting accurate information? There's a lot of talk about right now being science and data driven, making decisions truly based on science and data. And it matters a lot how we look at the data, right? What data do we consider credible and what data don't we consider credible? I want to talk about some basic parts of a study to begin with. There's the title. In fact, before the title is a list of authors. Okay, who are the authors of the study? Then there's the title of the study, which is simple. It's a statement about, often including the results of the study, but it might just be about the purpose or what they're looking for. The abstract is kind of a one paragraph summary of how what the study was and what conclusions they came to. Then it goes into more detail. There's an introduction. There's a section on the methods and the design of the study. It comes to a section with the results, and then there's a section on conclusions. And at the very end, there's a part about conflicts of interest. And so here a new study comes out, and you hear about it on the news. Routinely on the news, all we get is something approximating the title of the scientific study. It just new study comes out showing drug XYZ is effective for treating diabetes, and that just becomes the headline, and it just goes out everywhere. And that's all most people ever hear about that study is, oh, there's another study, out of such and such a research center, which is often a big hospital, a big name often that we might recognize. And but is that really what the study showed? And so probably, oh man, 80% of the population never looks any deeper. All they get is that report on the title. Okay, and if some do go deeper, they might read the abstract. Okay, people love abstracts. You know who loves abstracts the most? Medical students and residents, medical residents in training, because they're so pressed for time. We're so pressed for time that we want the summary of that article. Just get it down and move on, because I got a lot more work to do and I'm short of sleep, you know. And in my residency, one of the professors who I wasn't really, he wasn't my favorite professor at all, but I remember this so clearly, and it was such a valuable thing. I didn't know it at the time, but he forbade us from reading the abstract of a study, or the results and conclusions of the study. He said, the first thing you do with a study is go to the methods and the design of the study. Now, this is the most boring part of the study. I'll tell you that. Like, that's not the interesting part, sort of. Okay, it's kind of boring. There's a lot of details in there. But have you ever heard that saying, the devil is in the details? Well, it turns out how the study is designed is crucial. It turns out if the study is designed very poorly, the results are meaningless, right? If the study design is flawed, if it's deeply flawed, so the results are going to be flawed also. It just, you don't even need to read any further if it was poorly designed. The second thing today that we want to look at is the conflicts of interest section at the end. I looked at a study recently that was promoting a certain drug, an intervention that lots of people should be doing. And the conflict of interest section, authors in that study had received a lot of money from pharmaceutical companies, okay, for for speaking engagements, gratuities. They were just deeply enmeshed with the very companies that made the product that the study was about. And that is, it's a conflict of interest. It creates a bias in the study design and the conclusions and the results. And to me, it makes a study unreliable when the study designers are paid by the people who make the thing they're studying. So we want to look there. But once we've determined that there are no conflicts of interest and that the methods and design seem sound, we can proceed and read the introduction and look at the results and the conclusions. We want to look at the results carefully. There are cases where the authors have just, let's be kind and say they misrepresented the results in their conclusions, which winds up getting transferred into the abstract also. Like they will say, it was shown that drug X did not affect the outcome of disease Y. And when you look at the results, you see, hey, it actually reduced it by 27%. That's that is it did change it. It helped. So sometimes there's just a flat out misrepresentation in the conclusions of what the results of what the study actually showed. Anyway, there's a lot of ways that the studies can mislead us. And so it turns out we want to look carefully at the studies. And now you know how you can look carefully at the studies to figure out yourself what is going on here. If the study authors are paid by the people who make the product, there's a significant possibility that there will be I just can't rely on their study and their results because they will find a way to present favorable results that just wind up being misleading. And I'm giving it the kindest terms I can here.
You are.
But that is some key pieces to evaluating studies, is go to the methods and design and the conflicts of interest sections first, and then to read the introduction, the results, and the conclusion, and giving close attention to what are the numbers that are actually in there. You can't just believe whatever they write in the conclusions or in the title for that matter. You want to actually look at the data, and it turns out if there's conflicts of interest, you can't even trust the data, because there have been misrepresentations in the just in the data sometimes. So
Yeah, well, on this channel, we're always encouraging people to do their own research, think for themselves. Don't believe everything out there. As a matter of fact, my I have a bad attitude. It's everyone's a lying crackhead. That's how they start off with me. Um, but it's there's just manipulation out there, and we've got to look and do our own research. And I've never said it to anybody, "Hey, believe what I say." I've said, try it, try this, try that, and do your own research. So, also with this, I want to know if anybody has questions or comments or things that they've experienced from different studies or suggestions about this, leave that in the comments section, or if you have questions for us. So, is there anything else, Rodney, that we would need to be aware of if we want to really dig into a scientific study and see if we want to really believe it?
I can't think of more right now. We just want to do it with with our brains turned on, and I want you to know that all of you are capable of this. Like, I'm a medical doctor, but you don't have to be a medical doctor to think uh, with discernment and judgment as I read through a study. We can spot this stuff often. There's been a few times when I've looked at a study and I know the results wrong because it disagrees with like 55 other studies, on the same topic. It's the complete opposite, and I know it's wrong in some way. And there's been times when I've read through them and I can't figure it out, and I will search for someone else who's got more insight than I, who's we can jokingly say who's smarter than I am, and I want to listen to that person's assessment of this study. Sometimes those things can be found, and I have on occasion, sought out others to help me understand where is that study gone awry when I can't figure it out myself.
Yeah, and it's like so many times. I mean, they're not telling you things like they're doing um, a study on something that's supposed to cause weight loss, and they use 10 subjects that are all skeletons, and then they say, "Oh, they didn't lose weight." Of course they didn't. They're skeletons. So yeah, you got to really pay attention and look at what the motives are. So again, thanks for being with us, Dr. Rodney. We'll try to apply these principles when we hear about or looking at a study to see if we want to apply it to our lives. So thanks for being with us, Dr. Rodney.
It's good to be here. It's time to go. Have a great day.